and welcome to the HS Game Time Live Blitz. I'm Pep Fernandez. This is the big ticket KG, Kyle Glaser, and a very special guest that we'll get to in just a moment. Head coach at La Sierra for the baseball team, Michael Palo. And Kyle, before we start the show, I got to give a big shout out to, and I got to get this right, the Corona Pony 10 and under team, the White Sox. These guys, they're running all around us right now. They're here at adrenaline training for the first time as a team. Some of the players come down as individuals and train, but the first time as a team. So I can guarantee that Leonard Russell's whipping them into shape, and they're going to be ready for their next big tournament. So big shout out to the Corona White Sox 10 and under training here at Adrenaline Athletic Training. And we've got a lot of stuff to get to, Kyle. We've got high school football news to talk about. ESPN 300 released their list, and we've got 4 locals on that. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who that is. And DJ Wright, star quarterback of Rupa Hills, moving on. Where is DJ going? You'll have to stick around to find out as well about that. But first, got to talk La Sierra baseball. The Eagles, red hot, undefeated in the River Valley, and we are so pleased to have head coach Michael Palo. And Kyle, you've covered the Eagles quite a bit this season.
Yeah, I covered them last year too, got to know them pretty early on, and the thing I noticed was the pitching. A lot of times in Division 4, you see some good high school pitchers, but not guys who can maybe pitch at the next level. La Sierra had a guy like that, Nick Smith, last year, Dennis Martin in number 2, who was better than most of the number 1s in that division. Another guy this year, Alex Fernandez, jumps right up. They brought in some new guys. So, Mike, I got to ask you, where do you keep finding all these pitchers?
Well, it's not necessarily that we're finding talent. We're pretty much developing talent, and that has a lot to do with my pitching coach, Scott Vollmer. And we got guys that just want to work and they want to get better, and they're coachable players. And the thing that I love about it the most is that they want to improve, and we're all playing for a bigger goal other than winning baseball games. So it's not necessarily finding talent. It's they've been here, they've been in the program. It's just now they're getting the opportunity to pitch. So
take me through it. A guy comes up, you see him, he's got a good body, he's got some raw stuff. How do you mold him into a guy that can be an effective varsity starter?
Well, I think the best thing that, especially with pitching, and even though pitching's not my forte, so to speak, if you have someone that's a coachable player, someone that's willing to make adjustments and take what we're trying to give them, and to make them better baseball players, better pitchers, and again, better teammates too. So things that we teach our pitchers is pounding the strike zone, always working ahead, and of course the physical part of it. We have a big time strength and conditioning program that we've been doing since August. So I think a lot of it has to do with just being in shape.
Hey Kyle, a guy that you've written about, Alex Hernandez, who stepped up to be the ace for La Sierra. I saw Alex putting the finishing touches on a complete game, a 2-1 win against Patriot on Tuesday. And Coach, what do you like about Alex's game? You said he kind of had that opportunity as a senior, got in there, took that number 1 starter role, right?
Well, being behind, you mentioned Nick
Some pretty good names,
Nick Smith and Dennis Martini, and by the way, they're having success at the next level, which is great to see. Alex he's been waiting his turn. He's been one of those guys, and he's had good stuff for a long time. It's just trying to get him innings. And I remember his sophomore year. He was basically on the varsity team, but a majority of the innings that he got were on the JV level. And last year we tried to get him as many innings as we could, but again we had that 1-2 punch with Nick and Dennis, and he's graciously just kind of waited in turn, waited his time, and now he's got the center stage and he's producing in a big way.
So, Coach, I have to ask, you have a San Gabriel Valley area code on your number. I think I read in the program you reside in Orange County, and you're coaching here in Riverside County. How did you end up here at La Sierra? What's your backstory?
Let's see. Long story short, I moved out here in 2005. My wife and I relocated from Kansas. That's where my home roots are, the Midwest. And
makes the short story a little bit longer.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, I lived in Covina, so hence the 626 area code. And then we found a place that was better for my wife and I, and obviously the commute's very nice. I go against traffic every morning, but yeah, that's kind of the short version of that. So,
how did you find La Sierra specifically and end up getting this job?
Well, it's sometimes about who you know, and ironically enough, the principal that hired me at La Sierra High School, Don Austin, and even being from the Midwest, I went to a small school, Baker University, Baldwin City, Kansas, And he and I had the same alma mater. He went to college there as well, and he saw that. In fact, he was the first contact I made when I got out here, and it worked into a teaching job, an assistant coaching job, and here I am 9 years later, and the rest is history, they say.
Now, when you took over the La Sierra program, I mean, there's a lot of decorated programs in this area. You think about, guys like Riverside Poly and Norco, Redlands East Valley. What was how did you try and build La Sierra up to become a program that's consistently battling for a deep playoff run?
A lot of my philosophy, especially with coaching, the game of baseball is a gift. It really is a gift, and I tell my guys every single day, cherish the opportunity, cherish the moment. And I try to get in. I know for a fact that we do a lot of community service. We're well known in our community for doing a lot of good things, and I wanted to introduce that aspect to our program, and just the work ethic. I mean, I during baseball season, my wife wonders if where I am half the time, because I mean I spend probably 12 to 14 hours a day during the season. I mean I'm on the field, if not doing something related to baseball. It's field maintenance. It's always something. But I tell you what, the guys that we have in our program, I really enjoy coaching there. I really enjoy just the opportunity to just coach some good, decent young gentlemen that are going to make their way, whether at baseball or somewhere in life. And it's just the work ethic. I expect high, good things from these guys and on a consistent level, and they start achieving that. And there you go. That's it's something that we set the bar high, and they attain to it.
Now, Coach, you must have a very understanding wife, I guess, right? Is she a baseball fan? Does she come to the games?
Well, I wouldn't have married her if she wasn't a baseball fan, that's for sure. And she comes out when she can.
Yeah.
I know weekend games she comes out, and she's very supportive of what I do. And I know for a fact that I teach and coach. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. And fortunately for me, she's got a job where it can afford me the opportunity to do this. So shout out to my wife Carmen, love you.
Well played. That was very smart.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
She's watching. 6-0 in the River Valley League. Everyone's chasing you guys now. You have a nice, I think it's a 2-game cushion, right, on Ramona and.
I don't know.
You don't look at the standings?
Nope.
I look as long as you just win.
It,
right?
it is too.
I look at who we play next, and
That's it?
that's the only game that matters. So
that said, obviously everyone's goal at the beginning of the league is to win a league title. You guys came close, couldn't quite get it last year. What lessons did you learn from that race that you're applying this year in your pursuit?
Well, it's just it's humility. The game of baseball sometimes is a cruel game. 1 minute you love her, the next minute you're just like, my gosh, I can't believe it. But that's the nature of the game of baseball, and you compete against the players and the coaches that are on the opposing squad, but you're also competing against the game. And the game is beautiful, like I said, but more often than not, it's frustrating. But I think for the most part, just competing every year, just to have the opportunity to compete for something. And again, we haven't won a league title at La Sierra since 2001. So it's we're hungry. We're getting ourselves in a position to to hopefully maybe meet that goal.
Now, another team in the River Valley League that's intriguing is the rise of Moreno Valley. I know Kyle's got something in the works going with that. I mean, what do you think of the Vikings and what Troy Percival's been able to do with that program? I
have a great respect for Troy Percival and what he's done over there at Moreno Valley. He's a class act. I mean, he's a baseball guy, and he's really got those guys working hard and playing the game. And he's teaching them just aspects of the game that that can translate into not just the game of baseball, but just the game of life. And like I said, I have the utmost respect for that man and what he's doing. I really think he's given Moreno Valley just kind of that sense of pride back in not only their baseball program, but just in their school. And it's fun to coach against guys like that that their hearts are in the right place. They want to see these kids succeed, and that's really why they do it. It's not necessarily for the wins and losses. It's to see where these kids go and the lessons they learn because of what took place on the baseball field.
So I have to ask, in the coaches' meetings when you're on the field, is there any bit a little bit of a wow factor? Just, hey, this guy had 300 saves and won a World Series.
Yes, always. And I still have to pinch myself sometimes, thinking, wow, that's Troy Percival. And I went to the baseball Hall of Fame. I went to Cooperstown in last November. And I saw a picture of him with I think it was one of the Molina brothers after they won the World Series, and I was just like, man, I coach against that guy. So
I beat him.
Yeah, well, it's pretty it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And in fact, a little funny story. We were playing at their place the other day, and one of our guys, one of our pitchers went in, Trent Worker, wears number 40. And it was the 6th inning. He came over to me and was just like, man, you're going to throw number 40 in to close the game? And I was just like, at first I didn't know what he was saying. Then he's like, that was my number. And I had to laugh. So, but no, he's a good down to earth guy, you know, salt of the earth guy. And like I said, he's doing great things over there at that program.
Seems like there's a lot of rising programs. I wrote last year, Ramona was, hadn't done anything in 25 years, and boom, they win the league title last year. Last year you mentioned no league titles in over a decade. You get to the quarters last year. Moreno Valley's doing well. It seems like the River Valley is a league on the rise. Do you see that, when you look throughout the league top to bottom?
Absolutely. I think, Our league is, if you take a look at Ramona and what they did last year, Clint Ball does a great job over there with those guys. Very disciplined team. They play the game well. They play the game hard. We got a bunch of coaches in our league that are, young coaches that are trying to make a name for their program. And, I'm still one of those young guys too that is trying to do the same thing. And it's just a testament to not only the coaches, but just the league itself, And again, everyone, it seems like every year there are transfers that come in and out, and, sometimes those guys help, sometimes they don't. But I think you're going to start seeing some guys, maybe look at La Sierra and think, hey, maybe I could fit in well there.
Absolutely. All right.
Hey, Coach, I think I was at your game last year. Was it Baldwin Park when you guys met in the playoffs at home? Does that sound right? Last year? I mean, you've got some guys who are coming back, and hopefully Doug and Matt will be here shortly. But the guys who are coming back, they've been through this experience. They've been like in a league title race. They had playoff experience. How much will that factor into what you guys do this year, in terms of getting, finishing off that league title and, going into the postseason? Well,
experience is crucial. And again, we lost, I'm trying to think how many seniors we had last year. I think we had 8 seniors last year. But again, we had some guys, some key guys coming back this year. Definitely had a lot of experience. Obviously Doug and Matt are 2 key parts of that. But most of our hitters are back this year, and that was the one thing that we kind of struggled with at times last year was just swinging the bat. But having that experience is gonna help us down the road. And guys have been there; they played in those big games, so it'll be fun.
Definitely looking forward to see how everything goes. And hey, Matt and Doug finally showed up. Coach, why don't you tell us a little about these 2 guys? We got a bit of a height differential, but let us know what they can do.
Well, we got Matt Hardy and Doug Huntley. Matt Hardy is a junior, plays right field, pitches occasionally. Doug Huntley, he's my senior catcher. He's a captain. He's kind of the leader on the team. And these guys have been in the program, Matt for 3 years, Doug for 4, and it's been a great ride with these guys. These guys are the epitome of what we believe in as far as hard work and discipline, and it's just great having them around. And obviously they're fun kids too, so that definitely plays a big time role as well. So,
all right, Pep, take us over there.
Doug and Matt, he called you guys fun kids. You guys really enjoy being on this team, and you guys all get along and all that?
Definitely. There's another team I'd rather be on.
Who's the joker on the team? There's got to be a joker, right?
Yeah, I think Daniel Bina is probably the top.
I'd say Daniel Bina as well. Definitely the joker. Yeah.
Is Coach cool with that? Does he like to keep a loose atmosphere around the dugout?
Definitely. He's mixing up jokes with us all the time.
Now let's talk about you beat Patriot 2-1 yesterday. Got a great start from Alex Hernandez. 6-0 in the River Valley League. You guys are going strong. What's it going to take to cap off a perfect season in the River Valley League and have that league title and a ton of momentum going into the postseason? What's it going to take from here on out?
Just a bunch of hard work and just keep at it with our approach and just stick with it. That's pretty much it. We're going to do well. We're going to do well. So,
how about you, Matt?
I think if our pitching keeps on continuing to do what we can do, I think we'll have a success. And our bats, if we get better from what we're doing now, I think we'll be all right.
Now, you guys challenged for a league title last year. You made the playoffs. I was talking to Coach a little bit earlier. I think you guys got knocked out by Baldwin Park. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have experience. You know what it's like to be in a league title race and go to the postseason. I mean, for you returning guys, is that good experience to kind of bring back? And it's like, yeah, we know what this takes. Now we can get over that hump and take that to the next level.
Yes, definitely. That definitely plays a big part. That just having the confidence to say that you've been there, I mean, that would definitely help the younger guys on the team, the ones with less experience. It's just good to be in that position.
How about you, Matt?
Being there once before, it calms the nerves, and I think that once we're in the CIF, I think we'll be all right. And having all the people, we have a lot of returners from the old team from last year, so having them and a few guys that's been there before on other teams from different schools, all the experience in CIF, I think we'll be all right. We'll be good.
Doug, as the catcher, why don't you do a little name dropping, talk about some of your pitchers that you get to catch. They've been great so far. Obviously, Alex, we've talked about him.
Yeah. Alex is a stud. We got this guy over here. Whenever he pitches lights out. Trent, every time he comes out, he works hard. Brian Lopez, when he's on, he's on. So that's great. Who am I forgetting? Daniel Bina, he's lights out when it comes to that late inning role. He's just lights out. No one can hit him. It's awesome.
Does it make your job a little bit easier behind the plate? You're like, man, I know this guy's got good stuff. I'm just going to sit back and let him go.
Definitely. It makes my pitch calling so much easier. So much easier because he can throw anything.
And how about for you, Matt? I mean, do you prefer to be on the mound? I mean, what do you think you're best at?
I think I would stick to the hitting. I think I can hit better than I can pitch. I mean, I got a pretty solid arm, so I think my hitting would I'd take my hitting over my pitching, but yeah.
So you guys beat Patriot 2-1. I mean, the pitching was there, but you guys need the bats to come around a little bit too, right? I mean, talk about just getting the offense going and hopefully just in time for this playoff push, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday, it was kind of hard to get it going, especially since we were hitting the bottom part of the ball, so it was getting up in the air. We had so many pop fly outs, and if we just stick to what we've been doing the previous games, we'll be fine. I can guarantee it.
And Matt, for the guys who couldn't be here, some of your other hitters, Kenny Ford, I know he's one of them. Why don't you list off a couple of the other players who couldn't be here but are playing a big part for you guys this season?
Yeah, so like you said, we got Kenny. He's been hitting the ball really well, and then we have Aaron, who has a lot of infield hits. He's speed. He brings a lot of speed to our team, and then Daniel, he's stepped it up. He stepped it up a lot these past 5 games, and then Simon Kersey. Did I say that right? Simon Kersey. Is
that how you say it? Every time I say it, I think I say it differently. But,
yeah, I think it's Simon Kersey.
Okay.
But yeah, he took up the three-hole spot, so he's been hitting the ball well as of late too.
All right, so you got the pitching. Hopefully, the more hits and more runs will come around as well. La Sierra, you guys have got this great baseball program now. I know a lot of people focus on maybe like Redlands East Valley or Vista Marietta or something like that, but this guy over here, Michael Palo, is doing a great job at La Sierra. I mean, it must be pretty proud to wear the LS around, right? I mean, because you guys have a great thing going at La Sierra.
Definitely. Every time I put it on, I'm proud that I had the chance to wear it. So I love it.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, he always tells us to wear the LS Pride. It's a privilege, and my 3 years being here, I've gotten better as a person and a baseball player. So it's definitely a privilege to have the LS on across the chest. So.
You guys seem like a pretty fun-loving bunch. Who's got the weirdest pregame ritual? Does the weirdest thing in the dugout before a game? Can't touch the chalk. Won't talk to anybody. I mean, is anyone on your team? It's like, man, why does he do that? He's always got to eat a Subway sandwich right before the game. I mean, is there someone that has just a weird pregame ritual that they have to go through, and you guys kind of give them a hard time about? Anybody? What about Coach over here? You can spill the beans. It's safe. We're arm's length away. We're safe over here.
I really don't think there is anything like that.
No?
No, I really don't think there is.
On the bus rides?
No, we're
Someone's got to listen to Bieber or something like that on the bus rides, right?
This guy right
Oh,
here.
this guy?
yeah,
I just uncovered something. So you're a Justin Bieber fan, huh?
yeah. I had a Justin Bieber as my walk-up song, CIF, the Baldwin Park game, and it actually, or not the song that helped me, but loosened me up, you know. So
Matt, you guys lost that game. You got to get rid of Bieber. You got to get something new.
last season, but this year we haven't got the chance to have it as much.
All right. So last question: if you can get walk-up music before this season's out, maybe it's the playoffs. So what's your song? And Doug, you're gonna get the same question, so be ready. So what's your song this year, Matt?
Do that.
Doug?
I'm thinking Headstrong Trapped. It's a pretty good song. So.
There you go. So what would I pick?
What would
Listen, I'm gonna throw you guys a real straight. He's the king. So he knows what I'm talking about, Coach Palo over here. Doug Huntley, Matt Hardy, you guys are the best.
Thank you.
Continued success. Good luck as you chase down that River Valley League champion.
That's where the it's just the pit of the soul right there. So yeah, if I had 13 seconds to walk up music, let's see. When I was in college, it was Pantera Walk. That was my 13 seconds. So, but yeah, I'll agree with you, Pep. That country, it's the hearts right there. So
I got to ask, we're following you guys up with some Arlington guys now. I know you're fairly new to the area, but Arlington's obviously a largely successful program. Do you look at what they do and other programs like that and say that's something we want to emulate?
Oh, absolutely. I've over the years I've become friends with Coach Gary Rungo over there. He's a good guy. He's always had. I mean, you take a look at his program and just the consistency of success that he's had over there, and that just speaks well for baseball in general. Every single time they step on the field, and in the years past, it's been an interesting rivalry to say the least. I'm not saying that it's died down, but I think it's gotten a little more civilized over the last few years. But absolutely, I mean, Gary does a great job over there. He's got a great set of coaches, and those kids play hard. And it's kind of a storied franchise, so it's good for him.
So, all right, with that, I think we'll move on to Arlington. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're the man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to show some La Sierra against Patriot highlights from Tuesday as the Eagles edged out the Warriors by final score. Patriot would not make it easy for La Sierra to stay unbeaten in the RVL. Warriors with a man on first in the 6th inning, trailing 2-1. La Sierra shortstop Cesar Tamayo all down to end the top of the 6th. Patriot pitcher Robert Luna comes up with a strikeout in the bottom of the 6th. It's still just 2-1, and the Warriors got 3 more outs to make something happen. 6 strikeouts in the game for King Alex. Here's one of them in the top of the 7th, but Patriot not going down without a fight. Here come the Warriors. Dax Baltazar pushes the single to right, and then it's Andrew Martinez base hit through the hole to left. Suddenly, the tying run is on second. The go-ahead run is at first.
But a tight game, absolutely. I mean, it builds character, and especially that's the game of baseball. You're not going to be able to put up runs every day ready to play again. So it's poses a challenge, but at the same time, it's a win's a win.
Great guy to have him and Doug and Matt come on down. And you mentioned some of these premier programs around Redlands, East Valley, Riverside, Pauley. La Sierra is building something special.
Yeah, obviously it's a little different doing it no matter where they're in. And so for La Sierra and Ramona, two, Riverside schools to continue to get better and start to become perennial powers in the Division IV playoffs, maybe start moving up to Division III, maybe Division II, who knows, maybe even Division I one day. That's a positive thing for inland baseball really throughout the county, but as well just Riverside as a city itself.
All right, let's move on.
But Arlington's going to be competitive. They always are. Last year we saw it. They don't have maybe the size or the ton of Division I commits as some of the other Division I teams that you see around. Norco's huge. Pauley had a bunch of guys last year who went on to bigger and better things. But Arlington just consistently wins, and we got 2 guys who've been a big part of that. Got Wyatt Moore as well as Anthony Ortega. Pep, take it away.
Stay hungry, guys. Is that the team motto this year, Anthony?
Yeah, it's somewhat of a team motto, yeah.
And what exactly does that mean? Just spell it out for us. Why? What does stay hungry mean?
Stay hungry means just never be satisfied and keep striving to get better and keep striving to win and to perform at your very best.
All right, Wyatt, Anthony, you guys are just 1 game back at JW North and Riverside Pauley. I mean, you're on their heels. What's it going to take to not just stay on their heels, but maybe sneak one away from one of those guys and, battle for that Inland Valley League championship, Anthony?
Mainly just scoring runs, really executing. I mean, we've been when we played Poly, we've been in situations where we could have scored runs, even against Canyon Springs, but we just haven't executed really, and that's mainly our biggest weakness this season.
What?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of piggybacking off who said, we're hitting the ball pretty well, but when we got
hungry, timely hits when guys are aboard, of course. Speaking of timely hits, your boy Dino Suarez, yesterday against Canyon Springs. I wasn't there, so you guys tell me exactly what happened. We'll start with Anthony, but you guys won 3-2, right?
Yes. It started off Brian Sandoval flew out to up and gets a clutch 2-out hit in the gap. It was honestly, I thought it was going to be a tag fly for Brian to get over to third, but it dropped in the gap. It was a nice hit ball.
Yeah, I was on deck, or I was in the hole, I think, and when he hit the ball, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Now, you're Arlington guys, so you must be used to the train by now, right?
Yeah.
When I go out to your games and I'm shooting it, it seems like every time there's a clutch situation or something, the train goes whizzing by.
Yeah.
You guys are used to it.
Yeah, we get used to it.
Yeah.
It comes by. It
Kind of blocks a little bit of the noise, but yeah, I mean, you get used to it. I mean, after hearing it a couple times a day, every day, so.
Guys, what's it like playing for Coach Rungo? He's longtime local coach. If you play baseball in IE, everyone knows Coach Rungo. I mean, good guy. How would you describe his coaching style?
That man is a character. He knows when to joke around, but he knows when to be serious too. And he's got great fundamentals, and he's a very motivational coach, and pushes us to be our best. And it's definitely
Just as important as the next in league. I'm gonna take tomorrow's Rancho Verde game just as serious. I'll take the North game. So and it'll be good to get a win, but everyone's equal as each other.
Now, I was talking to some of the Lost.
One of the bigger characters on the
You got the Jokers right?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely like to have a lot of fun in practice and things like that, joke around with everyone, and just keep everything light, but still have the same intensity that we need to carry into the game and things like that.
All right, Anthony, what's the biggest joke? What do you like to do to the younger guys? Anything?
I mean, not too much. I mean, that we could say on camera. I'd say, but
We just keep the dugout loose.
Yeah. Me and this guy really keep the team loose, team room, dugout, whatever it is on the field.
You're out there having fun, right? I mean, it's baseball,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time to put together 7 in a row, right?
Absolutely.
So Wyatt, we'll start with you and Anthony next. What would your walk-up music be if you guys can win 7 in a row here?
Alrighty. So I heard you ask this question in La Sierra, so I had to think about it, and I came up.
Blue, so I think "I Love You, Poppy" by J-Lo would probably be mine.
Hey, whatever it takes, right? Kyle, you're not on camera, but we can all hear you. So you got any questions for the two Jokers on the Arlington baseball team?
So I have to ask,
Coaches and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of pride playing for the team and playing on the field, and especially San Peachy Field. It's a great honor to be on that field.
It really makes you want to win your own, so you could be up there with those guys.
Now, the other thing I noticed, this was a game I saw you guys last year against Canyon Springs, and they had, a lot of better players on paper from Coach Rungo.
Just playing. That's kind of what we try to do. We don't try and hit the ball off the planet or things like that. We just try and play small ball. Try and get opportune hits. Get the bunts down.
Yeah, we know what we have and what we can do. We know no one's gonna get up there. We don't have any Lucas Dudas on the team to hit the ball out or things like that. We know that we have to string hits together, really execute and stuff like that. And I think we've done a good job of that.
I mean, I look at the roster, I'm like, man, this is like some cool names on this team. I mean,
yeah, definitely. Most of the names on our team are pretty unique and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a unique group of guys.
yeah. I saw Boone on the mound yesterday against Canyon Springs. He looked great, a southpaw.
Walk-offs or by 2 or 3 runs, stuff like that. And they've really carried us this year.
And you throw, right, Wyatt?
Yes, I usually do middle relief, things like that, and I think just the whole pitching staff once in a while, things like that, and really cutting down on the walks, making the teams earn what they get.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, they made the championship game of the Darryl Kyle tournament, right?
Yeah.
You guys played Norco. What was it like playing some pretty good teams at that Kyle tournament? And, man, you guys went up against Norco, one of the best teams. And
We had that potential, is just, we finally brought it out in that whole tournament. And it was a good thing.
Good experience, Wyatt?
Yeah, got to see a lot of really good teams and see where we're at. talent-wise, we're compared to those good teams that we're going to see. We're just playing cream puffs, the whole year and all that stuff. So we really wanted to go out there and compete with some high-caliber teams.
Now going back to football, I love to call you the old gunslinger, okay? Who else on the team has a good nickname?
They call me Chili.
Chili?
Chili, yes.
Like Chili Willie the Penguin? You guys know that?
Chili Davis,
Cool.
Angel Great.
Chili what?
Chili Davis.
Chili Davis, yeah, an old baseball player.
I think more for the Ortega last name, Ortega Chili's.
Oh, Chili, okay. That makes more sense. So if I call you Chili in the highlights, everyone will get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they watch this, I hope so.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Who else?
Anyone we can make fun of real quick before we go?
Let's see. What's Brian's nickname?
Kirby.
Kirby. Brian Sandoval's nickname is Kirby. Let's see. What's Adrian's is...
Adrian Garcia is the Heat.
The Heat?
The Heat.
You got some good nicknames as well. So, all right, Wyatt Moore, the old gunslinger, and Anthony Ortega from Arlington High School. The Lions currently in second place right now in the Inland Valley League, looking to chase down North, as well as Riverside Pauline IVL, and hopefully get 7 in a row so we can hear some walk-up music, right, guys? Yeah. All right, Kyle, let's go back to you. Speaking of the Darryl, Kyle, let's talk about some Big 8 baseball. Norco looks like they're running away with it right now.
Yeah, before the season started, Norco was the heavy favorite, and they're living up to that. They beat a good Arlington team in the Kyle tournament. They split with Great Oak, and they're really just kind of beating everyone in Big 8 as expected. They beat Santiago 12-0. Those are the defending co-champs. Santiago made a lot of mistakes, but if you look at, the combination of experience, talent, and poise, Norco has it all across the board, and I don't think any other Big 8 team does. While Corona and Centennial and Santiago have some very talented players, King as well, and Roosevelt even has a couple good wins, beating Corona last week. While there's talent all around the Big 8 because it's such a good league, no team matches kind of the overall, the sum of all the parts, you can say, that Norco has, in my opinion, and the record bears that out.
Yeah, we're looking at some pictures of their big win against Santiago last Friday. You were there, right?
I was there, and I have to say, I saw Norco's team last year, and they had more guys who were Division I guys. Tyler Gattaca on the mound. They had a lot of guys who kind of had this big, personality, this big reputation, but I don't think they were as good of a team. They won a lot of games 2-1, 3-1. There were a lot of games where they kind of just really didn't look that into it, and at the very end turned it on a little bit. And that's why at the end of the season I said I think they're going to lose in the first round because you can't do that against a really good team. Well, they did the same thing against Huntington Beach Marina, and guess what? They lost 2-1. They waited until it was too late. Marina ended up going to the CIF championship game in Division I. Norco's team this year, I think, is much better at, they get out early, they do everything right, the little things. They have enough talent that they can overpower you with that, but they also don't make the mistakes that sometimes teams that are a little too talented and try and rest on that make.
All right, we had such great interviews with Arlington and La Sierra. We ate up a lot of our time, but quickly, let's go through a couple leagues. The Southwestern League, right when you thought
Flip a
Centennial Valley
coin.
was invincible, Vista Murrieta beat them, and it's just a mess right now.
Murrieta Valley split with beat Great Oak, and they almost had them the first time. I mean, you've got 4 teams now. You can almost flip a coin. Apologies to Chaparral and Mesa. It really is those 4 teams, and we'll see what happens. Making any predictions at this point is foolish. Just making the top 10 every week is hard enough for my job. Then you've also got the CBLs in a 3-way tie. Yucaipa, Cajon, Rev. Rev beat Cajon beat. Sorry, Rev beat Ykili, Ykili beat Cajon beat Rev, I think is how it all went.
You on that.
I'm pretty sure that's how it all went down. So, it's just one of those things where we'll see what happens there.
And Rev and Cajon play today and Friday, right?
Today and Friday.
Yeah.
I'll be there Friday. Mentioned the Inland Valley League with North, Pauley, and Arlington all within, a game of each other for first. There's a lot of close races, and you wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, once again, we are live at Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona, and so pleased to be here. It's popping off as always. We got basketball going on with their coach Cliff over here. I think it's the Firecrackers back here for softball. We just had.
I feel like they're always here.
The
Firecrackers. I think
they must be good.
I think there's a Firecrackers team here 24 hours a day, or at least as long as they're open.
It must be a great program because obviously they're getting better here at Adrenaline, and we also had the Corona Pony White Sox 10 and under team. They were also working out here. Kyle, let's quickly go to softball. A couple of quick softball notes in the Big 8 League where it seems like routinely they're advancing to the CIF finals, just loaded with a lot of talent, a lot of good teams. Santiago, they've got Roosevelt and Corona. This week, we had them on the Blitz last week, and they're going strong. But next week, some really huge games in the Big 8 League. King against Santiago, And then we also have King against Norco. So a lot will be decided in just that 1 week next week.
And, King entered the state rankings, Cal High Sports top 20 state rankings. Norco's not in the rankings. Santiago is and King is. And so for right now, King, they have a chance to prove, hey, we can hang with these teams. Santiago and Norco have been so good for so long. King is making a push. Alexis Osorio is as good of a pitcher as any, really, in all the southern section. And every time she's on the mound, King has a chance to win.
Yeah, if you have a dominant pitcher, especially in softball, you can go a long ways. Over in the Citrus Belt League, kind of like the baseball standings, there's a lot of teams still in the mix. Ykili and Cajon both 4-1. Rev and Redlands just a game back at 3-2. I caught up with Ykili last week when they were playing Redlands on Friday. And I guess the story of their season has been, they like to see the other team's pitcher one time through the lineup, maybe 2 times through the lineup. That third time is when they score all their runs. And sure enough, it held that pattern continued as they scored 4 runs in the 6th inning against Sky Munoz and Redlands. Brooke Bollinger, as you're seeing here, had a great game in the circle for Ykili. They got home runs from their freshman leadoff hitter, Megan Martin, as well as Mallory Cross. And then Brooke Bollinger added an RBI double later in the 6th. So they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th, got to the top of the 7th, 1, 2, 3, and they finished off Redlands by a final score of 4-1 in this one. So Ykili right there in the mix to win that Citrus Belt League championship. And we caught up with their head coach after the game to talk about challenging for a very competitive CBL crown.
One game at a time, and that's what we've been kind of preaching since we started. We have such a young team. It's we do have some team goals and things like that, but it's one of those things we have been preaching just one game at a time. We kind of feel we have a kind of a bullseye on our back since we have some good returning starters, but at the same time we're still very young, and it's coaching those kids up to catch up with the rest of the returners. So we've been playing one game at a time, and next week it's Miller Wednesday.
And before we move on from softball, Kyle, got to give a quick shout out to Heritage. We haven't talked much about them, but they're undefeated right now in the Sun Belt League. And I know you're a stat guy, so get this. Claire Thuis, and I hope I'm saying that name right, she's hitting .619 on the season. I don't care what you're playing, softball, the freshman level, baseball, whatever.
That's a good shooting percentage in basketball. I mean, that's a good completion percentage for football. I mean, wow.
Yeah, so the Lady Patriots, 7-0 right now in the Sun Belt League. Nicole Chilson, got to mention her as well. 4 home runs, 19
Future Sun Devil, Arizona State.
She is. Good call right there. So Heritage going strong. We want to give them a quick shout out as well. And we were talking about some high school football news as well right now. ESPN 300. It's, I guess you could say, the most prized list of what they say are the top 300 high school football players in the nation for next year's class, the class of 2015. Why don't you unveil our 4 locals as we pull up some video of them?
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, Blake Barnett figures prominently, comes in at number 54, the 5th best quarterback recruit in the nation among seniors as far as ESPN is concerned, 2nd best in California, 1st among dual threat QBs. The other guy ahead of him is a pocket passer. Blake Barnett, we've seen his star continue to rise last year and this summer. To be number 54 in the nation at anything is really impressive. And then for his position to be number 5 in the nation when it's the quarterback position, all you can say is just, bravo to Blake and all the hard work he's put in and his family and his coaches. Then we have a couple playmakers. Malik Lovette and Ykili Ross are 264 and 275. They're right next to each other. They're similar players. They're speedsters that when you get the ball in their hands, they're a threat to score from anywhere. Malik and Ykili, I saw them both line up at running back and score, line up at wide receiver and score. They can return kicks. Ykili plays cornerback. Malik hasn't, but I'm sure he could.
Even in these highlights in that smudge pot game against Redlands, he was lining up in the Wildcat.
Exactly.
Just put the ball in his hands, right? And if you're a great athlete, let them do their thing.
Yeah, so, Malik is rated slightly ahead of Ykili, but, we're talking, I think 1 or 2 spots in the state rankings. These are 2 very similar players that any college program would love to have. Then lastly, you can't forget about the heavies. Tevita Halalilo, Rancho Verde offensive guard, comes in at number 291. He was a guy that ESPN ranked as one of their top 300 juniors last year when he was going to his junior season. The other 3 guys weren't on the list. So Tevita has been on the map for a while. Give him credit. He stayed there. A lot of times it's once you get on those lists and people start to really look at you, flaws are exposed or,
You're under the microscope
and give Tevita credit. He's the only guy in the Inland Empire to make it both going into his junior year and going into his senior year. It says a lot about his talent but also his poise.
Chaparral's Malik Lawal, Rancho Verde, Sharon Jones, maybe bubble guys that could end up on this list.
Yeah, Sharon Jones was right there on the outskirts, it looked like, if you look at the state rankings. Malik Lawal wasn't mentioned, interestingly enough. He wasn't on ESPN's list anywhere. Mason Walter, offensive lineman at Chaparral, he's got, a dozen scholarship offers. He'll make his way up there. A couple other guys we've talked about, Vista Marietta, Centennial guys, Jairi Stewart or Shannon Walsh down at Vista. Yeah. So there's a lot of could-haves, but to have 4 guys from within, a 20 or 30 mile radius in that list together, it's impressive.
It is. A lot of talent down here in the IE. Another guy who wasn't on the list, but I guess you can make an argument for him as well, is former Harupa Hills quarterback, DJ, a.k.a. Damian Wright. And he's transferring now. He told me today on Twitter that he and his family have moved to Los Angeles, and he's now going to Salesian High School. And apparently they picked that school, he along with his family, especially his dad. He just liked it because it was a college prep school and had good academics, and that's how he ended up there. They moved to LA, and he's at Salesian. And Kyle, this is a guy who was the East Valley Division Offensive Player of the Year, led Harupa Hills to its first CIF championship. They've got some talent coming back at Harupa Hills, but obviously this is a big loss because DJ's a very special player. Yeah,
he's a 3-star recruit, and you rarely, if ever, see recruits coming out of the East Valley Division. Even, the great Jacob Taylor was only a 2-star guy. DJ is a next caliber quality of athlete, and obviously losing him hurts. This is, Harupa Hills, I'm sure they'll say all the right things of, next man up, but don't kid yourselves. This is a huge loss for them as a team, but it happens. People move, jobs are always coming up, and it's
life happens, yeah.
Life happens, This is not a case of, anything sinister or bad happening, just family moved, not going to commute from LA to Fontana. You gotta do what's best, and obviously I'm sure everyone wishes DJ Wright the best. He led Harupa Hills to a truly memorable season, and I hope he's remembered for that, not for he left.
Yeah.
This was a really special talent that created a really special season.
Yeah.
And now it's on the Spartans. This will help them, now prove, okay, we are the next level program. You see all these other programs, no matter who they lose, still compete.
They reload, yeah.
Harupa Hills now has a chance to show they're one of those programs. And if they can overcome the loss of DJ Wright, that'll do a lot for them, particularly as they get ready to move up into the Eastern Division.
That's true. Good point. And also, today marked the last and the third final signing day of the 2013-2014 season, a lot of the late signings. And we're going to pull up a picture from Riverside Poly this morning. They had 15 different athletes who signed, and a lot of these athletes, they're waiting for that scholarship offer, or maybe they have a couple on the table and they don't know what they're going to do, but finally, before they graduate, they can actually put the pen to paper, make it official. And today at Riverside Poly, there was 15, including Ykili De La Cal, who was a star soccer player for the boys soccer team. He's headed to UC San Diego. So congratulations to all the Bears who signed today. And we've also got a picture right there, Kyle, as well, from King High School. They also had a signing. So, and you know of another one, at least one other one. There's probably very
Harupa
many.
Hills had a signing as well. And, it's always cool to see athletes, put the pen to paper and really get that first step started as they move on to the college level. We've talked about it. It's a new challenge, but it's an exciting challenge, and I'm sure the athletes, they're going to put their best foot forward as they move on in their lives.
Yeah, very cool. Congratulations to all the student athletes who, signed in November or February or even today. It's a big deal, especially, to their families and their, the support system around them to accomplish what is a dream or this big goal to them when they start their high school careers, to actually get that scholarship. And I wish I didn't have to pay for college. That would have been a good thing, but surprising I wasn't that great at sports. I know it's very surprising. And
even for the kids who aren't able to get a scholarship or the amount they get is very minimal, it's still an exciting opportunity just to be able to go to the college level and compete in intercollegiate athletics is a huge honor that really only a select few ever get to experience. Obviously the money is very helpful, but in some cases it's almost a bonus. You're going and you're going to get an education at one of the premier universities in the U.S. And oh, by the way, you get to represent them and get to travel and get, free, special meals and dining plans and tutoring and health
Meals
insurance.
And snacks, remember?
And now it's unlimited. So, I mean, there's a lot of privileges that come with being an athlete, as well as just it's great for life. You learn teamwork, you learn how to, overcome adversity more so on an athletic team than I think in a lot of other life situations. And it's a great accomplishment, and I wish all the athletes the best, as I'm sure everyone does.
Yep, sports applies to life, all that teamwork and, positive attitude and working hard. Thank you so much to La Sierra. I mean, Coach Michael Palo was great. Doug Huntley and Matt Hardy, they were awesome as well, giving us an inside look at the Eagles season. And as well as Wyatt Moore and also Anthony Ortega from the Arlington baseball team. Both teams, Kyle, having great seasons, and it looks like they're not going to stop anytime soon.
Both teams will make the playoffs, barring, an unforeseen series of weird circumstances. And once you get there, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's hard to make any predictions at this point about championship worthiness of any team, but there's definitely a lot to be proud of at those schools. And you know what? North should make the playoffs. Poly should make the playoffs. Woodcrest Christian should make the playoffs. Riverside's going to be very well represented in the postseason across the divisions. Ramona and King will probably be in the mix to some degree. So all the Riverside schools doing a great job in the baseball season.
So thank you to Arlington and La Sierra once again. And of course, Adrenaline Athletic Training here in Corona for hosting the Blitz each and every Wednesday. For Kyle Glaser, I'm Pep Fernandez, and we will see you again next Wednesday with the Blitz.